fighters, they obviously walk around. They walk around at a different weight compared to what they need to when they fight. So, do you walk around and then cut for a camp, or do you just walk around fight ready at all times?
Everything kind of like, it depends, I guess you could say. Everything depends. I normally walk around, like, as long as you give me 3 weeks, that's me walking around fight weight ready type thing, you know. But if you say less than 2 weeks, then it's a little bit difficult and a little different story, you know. But my walk around weight or fight weight is basically 52, 53, you know. But if I'm higher than that, yeah, don't expect me to be fight ready. But I kind of look at it.
Now, I want to talk about your previous fights. Who do you think, out of everyone that you've fought so far, and I'm talking only UFC here, who's been your hardest fight that you've had?
Out of all of them, I will go ahead and say Martinez right now. Just factors in I fought with one arm. You know. Yeah. So literally I can go ahead and say Martinez. But like I said, everybody else was not hard to me. It's just one of those if I was on or off. And I know that Martinez I was on, but literally with one arm, kind of difficult to do things, you know. So I had to end up figuring it out and adjusting and addressing what was in front of me. So something like that.
So you fight in just over a week's time. Then actually, when this video comes out, it'll be the day of your fight. It would be. So how have you prepared for this fight differently to how you may have other fights?
Well, actually, ain't nothing much different about this one. It's just that I actually had a 7-month training camp. If you really think about it, last time I was in the cage was in February, and 7 months went by, and a lot of stuff has happened. I went through 3 surgeries. I had a son. I just about a month ago, I was in a car accident. And between all that, I had to address and adjust everything to make everything basically fit for myself and be prepared for next week, you know? So reality is just me taking it slow by slow and or day by day and just working and critiquing on what I'm actually good at. And everything I'm good at is basically fighting, you know?
Yeah. You mentioned your son there, and anyone who knows your story or doesn't know your story, he is the reason you do everything, isn't it? He's the main. He is your life, and you know, I followed your story. It's amazing. I've seen that. You know, just you were talking about a couple of days before you signed to UFC. You was going to be homeless. You were, you know, you're going through from bad times and stuff with your son. And I just want to know, what is your son literally? Is he all you think about when you're training, when you're doing your fight? It's like it's all for him and your family, because you're a very family first man.
Definitely a family type man. And I want to go ahead and say yes, but then also add it, since I have a newborn named June and everything. So Eli and June, you know, it just opens up that's what I'm actually doing everything for, is for them, you know. And granted, like, you know, anybody that's Team Ewell and, you know, we're all trying to make it and, you know, make it up into the top of the world and whatnot. But in reality, my purpose is building something for my two kids, you know, something that they're able to fall back on and automatically either take my legacy and do something even better, you know, become better type thing. It's kind of like, I don't know if anybody like watches the like anime / Dragon Ball Z and everything / Super now, like how Goku had a son. He has 2 kids, you know, and the goal was his son to take over type thing. And, you know, and that's how like my mentality is. It's I want my kids to have anything I have plus more, and they don't have to work for anything, you know, and the only thing that they work for is what they got to work for, basically. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want them working for anybody else. That's just how I feel.
Now, I want to go back to what you said earlier about the car crash. How, first of all, the fact that you came back and you're already training is absolutely incredible. There's no way anybody can question your mental strength for this game. So how long was it after the car crash that you started getting back into the gym and started training again?
Like, I got to say, undercover, I'm going to say a month. Okay?
Yeah.
Quotations on that. But as soon as I was able to start moving, you know, it was like partial therapy of getting back. And, you know, but like this, it's like just the fact that I was in shape is what actually kept me going. into that little flow. Are you with me? If you could just picture if I wasn't training or wasn't working out, I think the accident would have been a lot worse than what it was. You know, I think I would have been seeing a lot of, but like this, it could have ended up taking my life if you want to go ahead and place it like that. Like the accident was really bad, but everything went into like a positive direction. I'm alive, and the person that was in an accident with that hit me, he's alive. That's all that matters. Like, you know, so we're automatically pushing forward on that.
Now, I want to talk about your weight class at the moment. There's phenomenal talent in it. It's crazy, man. It's so much talent, especially the top 15. Who would be, if you could choose a fight, like a big super fight in your weight class, who would you choose?
If we're talking super fighting, for some odd reason, everybody always laughs, but Derek Lewis, that's my super match right now for a bucket of chicken. People don't get it. I'm trying to tell y'all, and no one's listening, but I'm throwing it out there that me and Derek Lewis going to have to throw in hands. I know he's trying to ignore me right now like he don't hear me, but he knows what we got to do. We know why we fighting, you know. True story. But no, hands down. It'd be all in the heavyweights, man. And Derek Lewis is ready.
Maybe, either you got to put some weight on or he's got to lose some weight or a phenomenal amount of weight to make that fight happen, man.
Hey, trust me. If I keep eating chicken, I'll be up there. People don't get this. Like, you know. Hey.
So on Saturday, of course, it's Owen with Rivera. How do you predict that fight going with you? I mean, of course, I know you're gonna feel confident to win, but round, and how do you expect to do it?
Definitely feel confident. I'm definitely gonna win this. Teach a lesson. I feel like it's gonna be everything's gonna be settled in the first round. That's honestly how I feel. Now it comes down as it being a knockout or a submission, but how I end up looking at it, that I'm going to finish him with one of the two, because everything kind of depends on what direction he's trying to go. If he's trying to take it to the floor, he's getting submitted. If he tries to stand with me, he's getting dropped. And that's how it's going to end up placing. But nothing but love to the guy. But it's business when we're up in there, you know. And that's just how it is.
So what I wanted to talk about a little bit as well is take me back to your UFC debut when you found out who you were fighting, considering as well it was a former UFC champion. What was the entire build-up from literally the wake up that day all the way to the fight night? What was the whole day like? Was you nervous? Was you just ready?
Wasn't nervous. And truth be told, I didn't know about him being like all-time favorite or super pound for pound and everything. I didn't know much because I wasn't into watching UFC fights at the time. Are you with me? And so if you wasn't John Jones or Conor McGregor or, you know, all the big names type thing that they're blasting and on billboards and whatnot, I did not know anything about you. And Hidden Brow was one of those people I didn't know about. And, you know, nothing but love to him and everything, you know. But mindset of just the fight, it was just automatically treating him just like another person. And that's how I always treat everybody. In my eyes, you know, if you want respect, you got to get it. And for you to get my respect, you got to give respect, you know.
Yeah.
And at that time, he wasn't respecting me at all. And, you know, kind of like set in that direction. And when I say that, it's like, you know, he didn't end up really trying to cut weight. And granted, I know like this is his line, you know, his job was on the line, but you know, it's one of those situations like, bro, you know, you got to be kind of like professionals on the situation, you know. And at that time, you know, he was walking around eating and shit, talking about he was cutting weight, but he was out there eating and shit. And, you know, but it is what it is. I ended up understanding when you place in a corner, you'll do whatever you can. You'll lash out, you know. It's like you put a rat in you corner a rat, what's it going to do? It's going to eat through whatever he has to eat through, you know? Yeah. And that's one thing that Henry kind of ended up doing. And I know that he's not the only person. He's human. Everybody does it. So there it is.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about is, and by the way, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. A lot of fighters complain about their UFC pay. Not so much if you're a big name like, you know, Darren Till, McGregor, but for the smaller fighters who aren't exactly in the top 15 yet and they're making their way up. What do you think? Do you think the pay is good enough for the effort that you're putting in, for the weight cutting, for the stress that you got to put your body through?
Well, truth be told, more money is always better money. Like, you know, like if we're able to get more money, we'll jump on it, you know. But at the same time, it's always a buildup. You always got to remember every job doesn't start off with or where you want to, where you want it to be. Like, it's like you end up pulling up a part-time job at a fast food restaurant. They can start you at minimum wage, and it's up to you to start building up, or you come in there with experience, or you tell them what you're worth. And now it's up to them if they want you or not want you. At the end of the day, everything is a business. It's a business. You got to have a mindset of a businessman or businesswoman, and you got to end up approaching that with that type of mindset. Like right now, yes, I would love to get paid more, but I know I have to basically knock a few heads to be able to talk about getting paid more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I end up doing that and they start paying me what I'm really worth, I have nothing to complain about, But I just know that I got to obviously get there. Like right now, John Jones has every right to automatically complain. Dustin Poirier has every right to complain. Like I can constantly keep going to different names that has every right to complain because they've been in the game for too long. And for us to be making UFC so much goddamn money that them asking for extra pay shouldn't be an argument, But if it's me arguing, I can see them saying, hey, it's an argument, But if I'm John Jones, there should be no argument. So it's just kind of like placing where you're at. But I already know that I got to aim to do better so I can get more money. And then hopefully in the future, they'll just start handing out a lot more money,
Yeah, I fully agree. Now, what I want to know is, obviously, you've been signed to the UFC and you've got a fight coming up. You look match ready. How do you think this fight's going to go? What's the strategy and the plan going in?
Hit them hard in the face. Feel me? I think that's the best fucking plan in the world. I'm excuse me for the cursing, but I feel like that's the best plan.
You can swear.
Just go ahead and hit him hard, and that's the plan. Put his face out there and hit him. If he ends up trying to dip, pop his head back up and hit him again. So at the end of the day, that's the plan. Hit him hard in the face.
Of course, for any fighter at all, the dream is to be champion. But what I want to know is what for you would be the pinnacle in your career. So of course it would be champion, but what I want to know is what kind of dream title fight would you have, and what dream arena you would like to fight in?
We're saying you already know the answer to my dream fight.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Me versus Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
Me versus Derek Lewis. All right, and then dream place to fight at. I want to fight in either. Actually, I'm not going to say either. It's going to be both. It's Australia and China. I want to fight in one of them stadiums. Just to mark it off as in my list that I got to go over there, travel, and got to fight over there.
Yeah.
And then enjoy the sceneries because I know some people up in Australia that are really cool that I kind of want to go over there, fight and visit and enjoy. And then in China, I've just been working my Mandarin. Or I obviously have to get back on it, but working that out and kind of want to just say I went over there.
Yeah.
Hell, and if they ever bring a card to Japan, I want to fight in Japan too. So,
what I want to know as well, because for not even just fighting, but for pretty much all sports, a lot of people's advice would be you have to start young to make it in the business. But my personal opinion is with fighting, of course, starting early is always the best thing. But for example, you see people coming to the UFC who haven't done it since they were a kid. They've done it maybe started around 17, 18. What would your advice be to either younger people or even perhaps people who are of an older age who think about trying to make it into, the UFC, but are thinking, oh, maybe I'm a bit too old for it or just don't want to do it?
Well, just like this, if for the old people, you just want to do it, do it. Like, questioning or asking people, at the end of the day, you're going to have people around you that is not going to agree at all. Kind of growing up, I had a best friend that only cared about basically me making money type thing, oh yeah, you should automatically work, get this job at this tower job and whatnot, best friend and the whole nine. But at the same time, not every person path ended up going in the right direction. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Or going in the same direction. And me, 8 to fucking, what's the damn saying? Basically me working an 8 to 5 minimum wage job or a good time paying job, whatever the fucking case. Me working 8 to 10 or 8 to 5 is not me, and I ended up giving that up, and you end up automatically seeing a lot of people down talk you, and that's just automatically fueled not to fail, you know. So that was me pushing forward, doing something that I ended up loving. So it could be you guys trying to fight, and if it's not fighting, it'd be like podcasting. If it's not podcasting, it could just you becoming a doctor. It's never too late. As long as your body's automatically equal with it, and you're ready to automatically prepare for the shit, it's not too late to do anything. And for the young ones, if y'all are thinking about it, start it. That's about it. That's all you can do, because you got to end up seeing if you actually like the damn thing.
Yeah.
Because or end up loving it. If you don't even love it or / like it, you're just wasting your damn time. So always do what you love. And that's something I knew I was good at. I can fight. So I started doing it, and there you go. Shit.
I want to talk to you about trash talking. Me personally, I think it's an important part of being a fighter. You know, you got Conor McGregor, Michael Bisping, even back in the day, Chael Sonnen. I know a lot of other people don't think it's good sportsmanship as well. What do you think about it? Do you think that it's essential to be able to have the skills, whether it's jiu-jitsu, boxing, if you're a wrestler? Do you think that the trash talk is also essential to that?
Well, it just comes down to like this. Like, I don't mind trash talking. Like, you know I'm not the best at trash talking, but if you could turn things into a joke, some people might just take it as trash talking. You can literally smile in somebody's face and say, hey, I'm going to beat your ass. And they think you're trash talking, but in reality, that's what they're supposed to be thinking. I'm about to beat your ass. But reality, when it comes to it, with the trash talking, as long as you know how to separate it and put it on pause when it actually matters, then it is what it is. And when I say when it actually doesn't matter or it does matter, it's when you guys are done fighting. There's that little moment where you have to end up shaking your opponent's hand or just telling them, hey, good job, or hey, thank you for taking this fight or something. Like, because you guys just shared an octagon in that moment where one of y'all could have either easily died. Like, you got to end up remembering, if you take what we're doing today to the past, like, these fighters that are fighting used to die. Like, it was murder, like getting killed inside the octagon type thing, and they ended up switching it and making it into a sport that we're able to say yes to, or able to turn on and say, hey, I'm about to watch right now. And, and that right there alone, just knowing the past history of what we do and going on to this and a martial arts mentality, it's automatically love. Like, you got to end up respecting that. But again, trash talking is trash talking. I don't mind it. You might end up hearing me try or make an attempt. Like, I think it automatically depends on what type of opponent that you end up fighting. Like, if it's me versus O'Malley, I think you'll see the trash talking. Like, if it's me versus Cheeto 2, you're going to see trash talking. Like, it's going to be one of those type of situation. Me versus Cody, most likely trash talking. Me versus Max, I don't think it's going to be trash talking. I think it's going to be a very respectful, but we'll probably turn into a sporting event that it may seem like trash talking, but just know that it ain't 9 times 10 ain't trash, because it's like we love the sport of what we do. So everything kind of like floats in the factors and knowing how to separate the two.
And so what I want to talk about is when you first started fighting, did you fight because you wanted to and you had a favorite fighter, or did you come from a rough place and you felt like you had to be able to learn how to fight to defend yourself? How was it that you got into it?
Definitely number 2. I had to fight. Rough neighborhoods, moved around a lot, grew up in nothing but, basically hood-infested stuff, like I stated. You could definitely take the hood or the hood child out of the hood, but can't take the hood out of the child, I guess you could say. So that's like something that I am. Like where I'm from, we throw hands. Like, where I'm from, you say something where, the best way to settle it and be cool is to fight type thing, That's just how I was raised, and that's like how it is. So fighting was always in me. That's just one thing that has never ever going to end up leaving me.
With of course 2020 for everyone has just been a ridiculously crazy year and time for everyone. How hard was it? Because of course at first there was gyms weren't even open, and fighters or just everyone generally were so restricted to doing what they could do. So did that make it harder for you to, of course it made it harder for you to train, but how did during the actual lockdown period, how did your diet go? How did your exercising go and just preparing for any kind of fights?
Ain't nothing changed. When all that shit happened, I was still coming to the gym, to be honest.
Oh,
You know, so like, you know, I understand it's supposed to be like secret coded, but in reality, we gotta eat, and us fighters have to eat, no matter how you end up looking at it. And granted, I was going through the whole recovery and everything, but mentality, I had to eat, and that's just point period blank.
yeah. Last question from myself. We're of course from England, UK, so I just want to ask, who, in your opinion, it can either be a past retired fighter or now, who you think has been the best English fighter to be in the UFC?
English fighter in the UFC? Granted, like I stated, I didn't watch a lot. But if I'm going to say English right now, I'm going to say my first loss in the UFC, Nathaniel Wood.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give him credibility. Granted that we fight 9 more times, I'm beating his ass. But, but straight respect to Nathaniel Wood. I feel like he's going to he can end up going far. No matter what, he's going to end up going far. And it's going to be that one of those moments that I know that I'm going to go far, and we're going to end up meeting up again. And, it's going to end up being – basically, it's going to be the fight and being the shit type thing. But, yeah, Nathaniel Woods automatically gets credibility from me, as always. Respect to him.
Okay, now the final question for me, so we can wrap this up, so you can get back to training, so you can beat Nathaniel Wood in another fight one day. What I want to ask is, who's your inspirational fighter, whether it's in boxing or MMA or whatever it is? Who's the person that you watch? You're like, wow, this is what I want to do with my life.
Are we talking about anything in past history and stuff like that?
I'm talking whether it's Royce Gracie or Mike Tyson, whoever the hell you want.
Oh, it's Bruce Lee, hands down.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yep, and that's my favorite one out of all times. That man was something special to the world and into the fighting life, period. So nothing but love to him. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee.
Well,
100%.
Andre, thank you for coming on today. We, of course, appreciate it. And good luck for your fight. We'll be watching. We'll keep an eye on all of that, the whole build-up to the week. And good luck on your fight on Saturday, man.
All right, appreciate that, you guys. Until next time.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.